together the night Bruiser Brody got killed in Puerto Rico.
What are your memories of that night in Puerto Rico with Brody?
Well, I was staying in the Tanama Hotel, and Frank Bruiser Brody was at the Blue Lagoon, and he had asked me and Butch, my roommate, Butch Cassidy was a midget, and he asked us to come over and eat lunch with him right before we went over to have the big show, and so we went over to eat with him, and we were sitting there having a early dinner or late lunch with him, and we were talking, and the thing that strikes me odd the most is he reached across the table and held my hand. I'd known Brody for years, and he told me some buddies remember the most important things in life are God and family. And it kind of took me aback because, I mean, I'd known him forever. He never talked about God, and he rarely talked about his family. It's like he had a premonition he was going to die, in my opinion. And so later that night, you know, when we got to the building, I was in the Hill dressing room, and we was in a baseball stadium, and they were on the other side. And I remember the doctor first coming in and said that he first told us that Brody had bumped his head and was bleeding real bad. And then about 30 minutes later, he come in and said that a fan stabbed him. And then finally, the third time the doctor come, Dr. Hernandez was his name. The third time he come in, he told us that Jose Gonzalez had stabbed him.
Right.
And he was on his way to the hospital. Then we found out that night that he died. Huh. And so when we walked out of the hotel the next day, Dutch came up to me and said, I said, "How's Frank?" He said, "He's dead." I went, "Oh, bullshit." He said, "No, he's dead." And so we had a show in Mayaguez that night that was sold out, and I said, "Well, I'm going home. They'll kill him. They ain't got a problem killing me."
Right.
So we all got on the phone. It was me and
Alice,
Abdullah the Butcher, and Sika and Tony. We were all in Sika's room. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. We were up in his room, and we all made our minds up. We were going home. We all got on the airplane and took off.
Did you ever go back to the island since?
Oh yeah, I'd been back several times since then, but it was never the same. Business was never the same. It was always great down there. I mean, business was fantastic, but it was never the same.
What is your belief that the dispute was between the two? I mean, I've heard different stories from different people that we've talked to.
Well, I've heard that Brody had owned part of the company and they were screwing him, or he was trying to get an upper hand or something. Then I had also heard that, and I know Brody used to beat the piss out of Jose.
When he was back in WWF days?
Yeah.
I heard the same stuff.
Yeah, but I'm also in Puerto Rico too.
Right.
And then you kind of, I think it's a little bit of all three of them that Brody might have owned part. They were promising something. He might have wanted more money. I think that Jose Gonzalez just had a child die, and I mean, I can only imagine what it would be like to lose a child, but I think he lost his mind. And I think that Brody used to kick the shit out of him all the time in Puerto Rico. I mean, we used to watch him beat the crap out of him. And Jose, it would piss Brody off because Jose, instead of flying around doing selling, he would just sit on the first or second turnbuckle and just lay down. He wouldn't sell.
Huh.
So Brody, it just caused Brody to beat him that much harder. And so...